It's time to talk about the Big 12 Week 3, recap it, all of that. Let's go. So
There were some nail biters this weekend, dude.
starting with Thursday's game, man, Arizona State barely wins at Texas State by 3. We thought it was free money. I think I had Arizona State winning 28-10. I don't remember what you picked, but we both had them easily covering. Shout out to Texas State. I mean, they came to play, man, and they wanted to protect their home field, and they almost got it done. So, but Arizona State 3-0, man. That's a big deal for them.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, nothing more to say there. They definitely need to prove themselves a little bit more against some tougher opponents. I think going forward. I don't want to say that it's a fraudulent 3-0 because it is tough to win on the road anywhere, but you have to look at the strength of schedule, and they are going to be coming to K-State. They're going to be playing at the Bill. So both Arizona teams will play at the Bill. And the Sun Devils, they're going to be in for it.
They are. They're going to figure out what the Bill is all about, which is really funny as we segue into the other Arizona team playing at K-State. We talked about this. We both had K-State winning by at least 3 scores, and K-State did that. I had K-State winning 42-24. I think you were, what?
45-21.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're not, like, super, like, disappointed with this score result. We kind of called it. I expected K-State to score a little bit more, which they probably should have, considering the first half they ran out of time, and then they missed a field goal as well. So K-State probably should have won at least 37-7. But still, I'll take a 31-7 win any day.
Yeah, I mean, my hot take was that the offense was going to score more than 40 points. It didn't happen. Again, we're still making points on special teams, which I'm clearly not mad about at all. But you still want the offense to do a little more than what they've been producing. I'm not really sure what is the cause of them, because we were able to put up 40 points every game last year almost. We were able to put up those points, and I'm not really sure what the lack of why that's not happening this time. I mean,
a multitude of things, man. New quarterback, new offensive coordinator, the age of a quarterback, all of that.
I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, we still have a lot of the same weapons, like Jace Brown was the only receiver that kind of stepped up later on in the season. DJ Giddens was basically our only running back that was actually producing anything. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, you still want the offense to continue to keep pushing and producing more points. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to score as many points as you can. I'm sure the coaches aren't trying to not do that. So it's just execution probably. And I think we're just going to see teams getting better and better over the season for sure.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, man, K-State winning on Friday was amazing, especially to be there in person. But that one thing that really made Friday even better, a little school up the road took the L at home. I guess it was in Kansas City. KU loses to UNLV 23-20. You called it. Shout out to UNLV for getting it done, baby.
Oh my God. Dude, I think honestly, I think Jalen Daniels has no idea how to be. I don't know how he knows how to play quarterback anymore. I don't think he knows how to play quarterback anymore. He literally, I think he, for whatever reason, is either colorblind or doesn't remember that the point of football is to throw to your players and not the opposing team's corner.
Right.
Because he has just he has this weird fetish of throwing it to the corners. He's like, oh, I know I'm supposed to throw it to my team, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it to their team and see if they can make a play. It's like, what is wrong with this guy? Oh man, KU, you've got a huge problem, and it's in your quarterback. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Daniels is second in the nation in interceptions already through 3 games with 6. There's only one person that has more than him. So
Oh
this,
man, that it makes Kansas look
this
a little bad, but at least it's not our school.
I love it.
That's the
Yeah,
stinking pile of cow dung.
and
It's
yeah, it's them. The
it's
Smurf
them.
chickens had a Friday the 13th kind of day. Yes, they
The
did.
Smurf chickens. I love that.
Don't feel bad at all. We watched part of this game. Utah State
Yes.
came to play. They did come to play, but Utah was just the better team at the end of the day, and they ended up winning 38-21, despite not having their quarterback. I think it shows and says a lot about Utah as a program and where they're at. They look pretty good, man. They do.
Yeah, they sort of picked it up a little bit towards the back half, as you can see. The points don't lie. But I was actually watching that game. I gave Utah a lot of credit on their defense, and I'm not sure how good Utah State is in comparison to the other teams that Utah went against already. Uh, but I mean, they went against Baylor, but I don't know. Baylor's been kind of a stinker,
I
so it's
agree.
like,
I
so
agree.
it's kind of like we still don't know how good Utah is. It's really frustrating.
I
K
think they're
State
pretty good.
K State beat an Arizona team that was on a 9-game winning streak. So we kind of know how good Case, and we went against Tulane, which has been a proven very good school. I mean, they gave OU a run for their money. Utah going against Utah State. I don't know how good Utah State is, but they were able to give Utah a little bit more of a game than the other 2 weeks that they've been playing. So I still think Utah is really good. I just don't know how good. And of course, we did say that without Cam Rising, they were not going to be performing as well. I think it kind of showed a little bit, but they still were able to pull out the win, and they still dominated pretty well. So they're still a good team. I just don't know how good yet. I mean, because
What
I
about
don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, dude. I
No, that's
do it
fine.
too often. We're about to find out real quick, man, because their next 2 games at Oklahoma State and then at home against Arizona. So we're gonna find out real quick
Yeah,
how good that team is, and we're gonna
that's
find out
right.
real quick from Oklahoma State as well because they're playing Utah and then at K State. So we're gonna find out real quick how good some of these teams are. So
Yeah, yeah. I can't. This is the non-conference games are finally over,
they're over. They're done.
and everybody's basically warmed up and ready to play conference play. I mean, UCF and TCU kind of got a jump start on us, but the conference games are officially underway, and now we get to see what everybody's made of.
And if we look back at the pick, really quickly, I did pick KU to win. You did not. Shout out to you. I think I had 27-21 and you had 28-21, but UNLV winning. For this game,
Does this make hold on real quick, Steve? Would you say that UNLV is now going to be ranked in the top 25?
so the new rankings did come out.
Oh, did they?
They
Oh,
did. And actually, K State went up. And I'll tell you what it is here in just a second. K State went up to 13th in the AP poll and 14th in the coaches poll. UNLV is ranked 25th in the coaches poll.
all
They
right.
are not ranked in the AP poll.
Okay, well that's fair, I suppose. But I do think if UNLV continues on their season, winning games, I like I said last time, they're a sneaky team, and they
They
were
are.
able to take out KU. So I
Love
just
it.
want to give a big thanks to UNLV
Thank you
for
very much
thank you very
from
much.
K State fans all over the world for beating
That's right.
KU.
Yes,
Uh,
they deserved it.
you had Utah winning 30-3, and I
Yeah.
think you had them winning 34-17 or 34-14, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So you got you probably get the win there on that prediction. I just thought Utah was going to be a lot stronger on their defense, but again, maybe I just didn't put enough emphasis on Utah's offense. I mean, that was a huge oversight there. So
For sure. Oklahoma State, I mean, this was an impressive win, man.
yeah,
45-10. I mean, they were up 28-0 at halftime. Didn't allow any points into the fourth quarter. Mike Gundy's got a squad, man. He's got a squad.
Yeah.
A quarterback pass for almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. I think you had them winning, what was it, 38-6 or something? It was something crazy. And I had them only winning by like 14 points.
So. Yeah, so I said at the outset that this is a game that you want Oklahoma State to win, but there's always that chance that they just like lose the game because Mike Gundy always has those random games. And
random stinkers.
All those comments, people showing up, they're like, like, I get it. Like you don't want to hear anybody talking bad about your school, but you cannot deny what you guys did last year, and you were still able to make the Big 12 playoff, or the Big 12 championship game. It's like, even with your embarrassing loss to South Alabama, I mean, you were able to still make the Big 12 championship game, and it's just only Mike Gundy can write a story like that on his team. I definitely agree that Oklahoma State is amongst the top 3 best teams in the Big 12, and it's just like, as a K-State fan, you're not going to say that they're better than your own team, and you would say the same thing about your team against K-State. I'm actually curious, the Ollie Gordon stat, because I always want to check on Oklahoma State when it comes to the Ollie Gordon stats of the day. So
17 carries, 41 yards. Teams are really bottling him up. Receiving 1 catch for 4 yards. So he's really not doing anything so far, man. I mean, that's
wow. They must have had a lot of yards after carry, because look at that, 7 receptions for 174.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting matters, especially at the skill positions. So,
yikes. Yeah. So wow, 431 yards passing. That's incredible. Yeah. So Oklahoma State, it seems like Ollie Gordon is slowing. He's slowing. Yeah. It looks like Ollie Gordon is human. In terms of what he's producing this year as of last year. I don't know if that's just because of an offensive change that you guys are doing now, or you are more confident, or you got better players on your receiving end, or you just wanted to change it up and make your offense more in the air than on the ground. But it is interesting to go from one season to the next where you have this incredible running back, and but we'll see. Maybe this is just non-con stuff, and you're just trying stuff out before you get into conference play, and then when you get into conference play, you're going to use your big threat tool in Ollie Gordon. So we'll see.
Yep. All right, let's move on here. Cincinnati gets a win here. I did not have them winning. I had them losing 24-23, but shout out to them for getting the road win at Miami. They still gave up over 300 passing yards in the game. It was a one-score game going to the fourth quarter, but they ended up taking the win 27-16. So shout out to Cincinnati.
Yep.
The Bearcats.
Good on them.
Don't have much to say about that. I mean,
I just realized there's 2 Wildcats and 2 Bearcats in our conference now.
Who's the other Bearcats?
I think BYU.
Interesting.
Isn't the BYU? Aren't they Bearcats? I might be mistaken. I might be mistaken.
They are the Cougars.
Oh, the Cougars. Oh, whatever.
Texas Tech gets a huge win at home. I had them losing 38-35. Shout out to them, man. They got everything oh my God. 52 points at halftime, 52-7 at halftime. Texas Tech really needed this win, man. They did.
Oh, this is what I was saying. BYU and Houston are the Cougars.
Yes.
Arizona and K-State Wildcats. It's amazing.
It is.
So original. Original.
Right.
Can't like Houston be like the Caterpillars or something. I don't know.
What a mascot, the Caterpillars.
You got to give respect to like Tulane, the green wave. Like no one's gonna have that. No one's gonna have that. Right. Like no one. That's so original.
So, you got anything to say about Texas Tech getting this big win here?
I mean, it's not like that crazy to me. I mean, they're at home, so.
No, but I mean, it's a better performance than they put up in the first 2 weeks. That's for sure. They definitely needed it. Their quarterback had 4 passing touchdowns. Shout out to them for getting that done, man. Getting it done.
Yep.
We did watch part of this game. This was wild to see. Pittsburgh, they're the comeback kings, man. They got it done in the backyard brawl winning 38-34 against West Virginia. It feels like, I don't know if it's KU or West Virginia as the most disappointing Big 12 teams so far, but they're neck and neck, man. They really
Oh man, I definitely think it's KU because Pittsburgh seems to be a really solid team this year. I
right.
mean, wow, West Virginia, what a disappointment. That's tough. I don't know what else to say, but I really thought that. I mean, you had Pittsburgh winning actually. I had West Virginia.
No, I didn't.
Oh
I had
wait, no,
you
copied me. You just went a
my
score
price
lower.
is righted you.
Yeah. But I thought West Virginia was gonna have a win here, considering they already had a dub,
Mm-hmm.
and like they figured out a way to win, and so they got the pressure off having a win under their belt. But man, I don't know what's going on with West Virginia, and that seems to be a huge problem
They
that
don't
they
know
got to
what's going on
fix.
with them either, man. Like I can't imagine the pressure their head coach Neil Brown is facing right now, but it's got to be a lot.
I love that.
Dude, they have lost some close games in a backyard brawl, man. They really have.
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Oh shoot! I still think they're a pretty good team. So we'll see if they can bounce back, but that's got to be frustrating.
Shout out to the chat, the Purple Pod chat. We have the best viewers and engagement out of any other podcast, that any other K-State podcast.
This is the best one here. Read this one to everyone.
I think West Virginia is more disappointing, but only because KU doing worse than expected is the opposite of disappointing to me.
Oh God, I love that, dude. I freaking love
that. These are the greatest
comments. Shout out to
Damon. Damon Nomad 82 yes. has been coming in clutch with the live chats, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the engagement. It makes this so much more fun for us. But let's continue on here.
Man, there's so many games to go through. We're gonna try to go through this a little quicker here.
This is the last week where we have to do this. By the way,
yes, thankfully, yeah. Baylor 31-3 win here. They're only up 6-3 at halftime, but they outscored Air Force 25-0 in the second half, and they start 2-1.
So my 30-3 prediction should have been with Baylor and Air Force, and not Utah.
I agree.
But hey, shout out to Baylor. I'm not sure how good Air Force is, but Baylor coming in with the dub.
Yep. Colorado gets the win at Colorado State, 28-9. I think we both picked Colorado State to win this game.
I think because we wanted, we're more fans of. I don't know if I'm fans of Colorado State.
I just hate Colorado. I
just hate Colorado. I hate what they stand for. I mean,
I don't like. Yeah.
I just don't like them.
They talk too much trash.
They get the dub. It is what it is.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. Yeah, they got the win. Good for you.
Yep.
Game of the week, man. UCF. Shout out to you, UCF fans. We were seeing all of your comments. There's a bigger fan base for UCF than I initially thought. I think the game was a little bit harder than they had anticipated, but they proved it, because to me this was a prove it game. I had TCU winning the game, and instead they gave up a 3-touchdown lead. I think you had UCF winning, though. I think you did.
Well, I had UCF winning big because I had so much more faith in their offense. And man, first quarter they did nothing. I was like, what is happening to UCF? Like, are they really not ready for Big 12 football? Like, you and I both were looking, like, I just didn't know. I just didn't know what was going on. This was super alarming, but they were able to pick it up in the back half of the game. TCU laying an egg hard. I mean, that you cannot give up a huge lead like that, especially at home.
I agree.
Oh, how embarrassing that is. But props to UCF fans, or UCF team, UCF fans. You are very, very happy to get out of that game alive. I mean,
yes, I agree.
Wow.
They were losing for all but about a minute of the game.
You literally had no business winning that game
They did not, but they
whatsoever.
did. They did
But you
win.
did. You sneaked it out. Does this concern me and where I put UCF in my power rankings? It does. And I'll tell you why, Steve. TCU, as respected as a team as they are not the same team that went to the college football playoffs 2 years ago. They just aren't those. They're not the same team. They
Right.
have lost a lot of dudes, and they're just not strong. So UCF struggling against a weak TCU is kind of alarming to me. It is on the road. We get it.
I don't
Road
think
games are
TCU is a
hard.
weak team. I'll be honest, but
Well, I'm not. I'm saying they're
they're not
not
top
like
half though. They're
they're
not
not
top.
top half. They're not top half. But that's the thing is, I put UCF as a top half team, and I'm like,
Seven
you
or
guys are.
8. Yeah.
I'm like, you're struggling against TCU. I'm like, this kind of like is alarming to me. I
But they
don't
got
want
the
to.
win. They got the win, just
They
like
got
K-State did against Tulane. So
yes, they got the win.
I can't say anything else.
They got the win, but the way they got the win is alarming. I'll just
I
say
agree.
that. I still believe that UCF is a very scary team. And dude, K-State, we got to go down to Orlando and play against them in their home crowd. And
At some point, yes. Yeah. I agree.
it's gonna be tough to win down there.
It
But
is.
this just kind of made me think, okay, was I overestimating UCF a little bit? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Well, I need a little bit more games to decide where I think UCF actually sits. What's their next game, Steve? Like where do they play next? I mean, we'll go over this.
Colorado in 2 weeks at home.
Okay.
I think they're going to win that game. I think they're going to win at Florida too, and against Cincinnati. So they could very well start 6-0 before playing at Iowa State.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think they're going to be a really good team, really tough team to beat when we get down there. So I really hope that I think this is what happened, Steve. They were going against competition that really wasn't anything to be. No one cares about their competition. So when they actually went up against a formidable opponent that has, shown to be tough, and it's TCU. I mean, they're a solid team. They've always been a solid team, but I just don't think they're as strong as they used to be.
I agree.
But even with going from the teams, the speed of the game that they've been seeing the last couple weeks, going from that to TCU, I think that's what kind of like shocked them. And it took them all the way until the back half of the game for them to like, okay, this is the speed in which we need to start playing. Sure. And so, props to the coaching staff and the players for executing on the back half of the game. But you could tell at the beginning of the game, they were not ready for that kind of play. They were like, oh, this is actually a good team. Like we need to get to the next gear.
They have a good quarterback. They have a great receiver and a great running back. I mean, when you have all three of those, you're going to be pretty good, and that's why they are 3-0. So, UCF did to TCU what Baylor did to UCF last year, was seemingly hopelessly behind on the road, then staged a monster comeback. Incredibly impressive Harvey as a running back, one of the best in Big 12. I agree.
Yep.
I don't think he's the best, but he's among the best for sure.
The Big 12 has probably the best running backs in the country.
I agree. Houston, big win at home against Rice, 33-7. We had some Houston fans commenting about some other stuff, but
I called the win for them.
I did not.
I said this is going to be the Houston win. They're at home. They're going against Rice. I did not have any faith in Rice. I was like, this is the game where they come back. So Houston fans, you can back off of me because I was with you guys. I was like, no. Like they're going to figure it out because they showed a lot of life against OU. And I'm like, OU is a tough team. Like they've always been a tough team. You can never, ever count OU out. And Houston played against them and played well against them. So I was like, all right, Houston, I think Houston, you don't have a problem.
I
Houston,
got it. I love that. I love that little. I love that.
Houston, you don't have a problem. You just need to be more consistent. But this was a great win for you. I'm happy that you got a win. Listen, when Houston looks good, the Big 12 looks good. When the Big 12 looks good, it's great for everybody. So I want Houston to be good. I never want these teams to be bad. You know, like I always want the Big 12 to look as strong and as best as we possibly can be, because we, at the end of the day, the biggest issue is the SEC, and we need to prove that the SEC and the Big 10 are not the only conferences in the United States. The Big 12 is still a very good conference, and I want Houston to be good. So
yeah, I don't think they're the worst team in the conference anymore, and we can.
That's KU.
we can do a power rating another time.
Yeah.
Last game here, we need to go through really quickly because the Chiefs are about to kick off.
Yeah.
BYU with a big road win at Wyoming, 34-14. They were up 34-7. Gave up a late touchdown. I'll be honest. We'll break down the kstate BYU game next week. But they're not going to go down without a fight. They have a good team, and they're 3-0 for a reason. And I'm excited for the game, man. I am.
Yeah, BYU fans, a lot of you were thankful you didn't have to go against the Cats last year. This is the year that you're going against the Cats, and it's really exciting because BYU fans they just seem to be really dedicated to the culture of football, which is really cool to see that. I'm excited to see us play against in the biggest stadium in the Big 12. That's going to be really, really cool. I wonder how many K-State fans are going to be there. Hopefully a lot. But I will say this before we get going, and we'll just, congratulations on your win against Wyoming. Wyoming doesn't seem to be as tough as they were last year. But BYU, if you're watching, any fans watching, if you could reach out to one of the podcasters out there, we would love to be able to have during conference play. We would love to have during our pregame show, when we talk about the game looking ahead against the team that we're going against, I would love to have a third member from the opposing team who
to
can
break
come
down
in
and preview it. Yeah.
and break down it and have a conversation, a discussion, say, hey, this is what we're bringing to the table. What are you guys bringing to the table? Enlighten us, because they're obviously looking at their games very intently. We're looking at K-State very intently. We'll watch BYU, but we're not like really, we're just kind of enjoying the game and just watching.
Right.
But they're like super fans, and we want to hear both sides. And I think it'd be really cool and engagement to have a discussion from both ends of the spectrum here of like K-State and BYU, and then following week we'll have an Oklahoma State member come in and talk. And we just want to have somebody that can keep the conversation moving. Obviously, we don't want just somebody that can, derail or whatever. Like but we want it to be respectful. So I think BYU fans, or even our fans, if you can reach out to some of these guys and just have them reach out to us, we'd love to get them on board and have a really fun discussion about the upcoming game. I think it would be really cool to have something like that, where the Purple Pod kind of turns into this, like, bringing on somebody from the opposing team and kind of having this cool discussion. It's not just all K-State hoo-ha, rah, and like we're going to win all the time.
Nice. I agree. Yeah, and that's the recap from Big 12 for week 3.